How did I make $250,000 last year and the previous year I was making $20 an hour? Trades. And not the stock market, talking about working with your fucking hands. I started off working HVAC for $20 an hour. Didn't know shit. Just started moving shit for other guys who knew shit. It's that simple. Making $20 an hour. And my strategy is very simple. Steal the skill. In this video, I'm going to tell you step by step how I went from $20 an hour, how I got the $20 an hour job, and how I got to $250K in 2025 working a job. Time out. There's one thing I wanted to touch on before I continue with this video, and the 250K number. How did I get to that? I made $160,000 in cash paid from the company to me, and the whole package, including my benefits and everything, was probably about 220 grand. And then on top of that, I was able to make smart investments that allowed me to make 250 because I had the excess capital. I was a top 10% earner, top 5% earner for my age. And that's what brought me to that 250K number this year, because I had that kind of a high earning trade job. Now back to the video. Now first, let me tell you this. This was a long journey for me. I used to work pizza delivery, and I went from pizza delivery to working a $20 an hour job, but I did pizza delivery for nearly 5 years. Keep trying to save money and invest in a business, start up a new business, figure something out, try to get rich quick, and none of it worked, but I will say I learned a lot from doing that. So I'm not gonna say to stop what you're doing, stop with your entrepreneur journey and go right into the trades. That may be good for a lot of you, but it definitely helped me to have very little money and try to start businesses anyways and learn and fail and do a bunch of sweat equity and try to start the business to get it off the ground. But this is not about that. This is how I went from making $20 an hour and in less than a year to making $250K in 2025. That's what this is about. I started off, doing pizza delivery. And like I said, I did that for 5 years. And I met a friend named Sebastian. After high school, I had went to a trade school for refrigeration machine operating to become an operating engineer. That school was a 9-month program, and it helped you get an FDNY certification, which is required for most of these operating engineer jobs. The thing is, I got that certification in 2021, I'd say, and I still continued working pizza delivery up until 2024. In 2024, my friend Sebastian, who I'd only been friends with for maybe a year and a half, I was at his house, we're just chilling. I'm still broke as a joke, working pizza delivery. And his father just happened to be in construction. And he was just talking to me about what I'm doing. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I've been applying for some, HVAC jobs. I keep it simple. It's a machine operator's job. It's different than a typical HVAC job, but HVAC is the primary skill within that job. And since he worked in construction, he had a great relationship with many contractors, subcontractors. So he was like, okay, you're looking for an HVAC job, I'll get you one. He called up one of his subcontractors who owns an HVAC company, obviously, and recommended me and told him I don't know shit and that, pay me whatever. And, I showed up for the interview. Before I showed up for the interview, I grabbed 2 cups of coffee. I knew the guy probably had a coffee machine anyways, but I showed up with 2 cups of coffee. Why? Because I'm the G. Oh, I'm coming for a job interview. Gotta bring him some coffee. I don't care if he has coffee. I'm gonna bring him Starbucks. Starbucks coffee tastes like shit, but it's a status symbol. Showed him I cared. I brought him coffee, and I got the $20 an hour job. And that job, I worked for 6 months, and it entailed just carrying around shit, manual labor, but I was stealing the skill. After 2-3 months, let me try to braise that. Let me try to do this. Let me try to do that. How did you do that? I'm constantly stealing the skill. Steal the skill. That's rule number 1. Steal the skill. And so I stole the skill in a matter of 5 to 6 months. I was ready to go on a truck. I was asking one of the other helpers, I was like, yo, do you want to tell the boss, like, give us our own truck. And the other helper was like, not really. He was comfortable, lazy and comfortable. Fine. And I had gotten sick of it. I had gotten sick of it. I was doing day trading and it was working. Me and my friend Sebastian, we were working as funded traders for the funded trader program. They had went underwater. We had lost our accounts. I was fucked. I had quit the HVAC job and I was like, fuck, I need some money. Perfect. I had gotten the experience from the HVAC job. I had all the little bullshit certificates. Remember, I went to a trade school for 9 months. And I had went on a lot of interviews actually for operating engineer roles, helper engineer roles. And I couldn't get any because I didn't have any experience, even though I had the certifications. And there was way more operating engineer roles than helper engineer roles, because the helper engineer roles they're really protected by the union. The union really hands those out to get guys in, get their family members in, friends in. Fine, that's the name of the game, connections. And I couldn't get a helper role and I couldn't get an operating engineer role because they wanted someone with experience, but I couldn't get a helper role. That's why I went and worked for an HVAC company. And when the funded trader went underwater, I was like, fuck, I need a job. I need to make money now. And I had applied and went on a bunch of interviews, and all of them said they needed somebody with experience or somebody who was already in the union. And also the union rep, he kind of was taking things slow, because I had met with the union rep trying to get in, because I told him I got all the certifications you could ever ask for. And what I did was immediately, all those chief engineers that I spoke with, building managers that I spoke with, I saved all their numbers when I went on those interviews, even though I didn't have any experience and they didn't want to hire me. Why? Because for this moment, I got my experience and they said they wanted somebody with experience. That's why they couldn't hire me. Now I have my experience. I called them, I emailed them, I text them, I let them know, hey, John, I got experience now, nothing to hold me back. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work. Now, none of them were able to hire me. They all said that they were fully staffed. Fine, fair. What happened was eventually the union rep, I kept asking him every month, emailing him. Yo, I need a job. What's going on? Just want to keep you updated. How's it going? He got me a job. And I was probably out of a job for a month. And between that 1 month time where the funded trader collapsed and I got the helper job, it was actually a couple months. I didn't start until July. Funded trader collapsed in like April. I didn't start until July, and funded trader maybe collapsed in April. And during that time, I was hustling Uber Eats. I was making more money doing Uber Eats than I was working the HVAC job for $20 an hour. I was making more money doing Uber Eats. And also I was flipping shit on eBay, doing all the hustles. The union called me up, told me that an opportunity, a helper job. I took it. Took me forever to finally get the job. I think like a month. Started in July. 1 month after I started, one of the chiefs called me, interviewed with in the past, and that I had messaged after the funded trader went underwater, and I called, messaged, he didn't have an opening. All of a sudden he had an opening, he wants me in. Said he wanted me, no interview necessary. So it takes another 3 months to be able to set me up, because his job, his team works for a high value client. They have a lot of processes to take and onboard somebody. Anyways, 3 months later, I'm like, sorry guys, I appreciate the opportunity in working with you guys. I got a job with this client. And they're like, totally understand, you're gonna get paid way more. All of a sudden, I went from $20 an hour to $27 an hour with the helper job, and then 4 months later, $50 an hour with the operating engineer job. That quick. Why? Because of speed. Speed. As soon as funded trader went underwater and I knew I needed a job, I hit up the 10 people that I knew could get me a job, and none of them were able to help me. But one of them, the union rep, was. He got me $27 an hour job. Within a month, I got a call from the $50 an hour job. 3 months later, I was in there. 4 months between these two. Speed. Don't think a company cares about you and you have to be loyal. You need 2 years on your resume, 3 years on your resume. Fuck no, fuck them. Your value is up here. You have the skills. You worked hard. Nobody's gonna pay you $50 an hour unless they can extract a higher value from you. So if they can extract $60 an hour from you, they might pay you $55. They might pay you $50 because they can extract $60 an hour worth of value. That's a $10 profit from your work. They're paying you $50, they're making $60, they're making $10. That's the name of the game. Why would you make $27 an hour when you're worth $60 and you can get paid $50? And ultimately what this took was networking, finding the right people and getting lucky. You know how you get lucky? By talking to people and making opportunities for yourself. That situation never would have happened had I not talked to my friend Sebastian's father with confidence and just having a normal conversation with an old rich guy. He's freaking wealthy, doing well for himself. And, a lot of guys would just be like a little shy. It's my friend's dad, don't really want to, talk to him, or they might feel like, they might feel something. I know a lot of guys are, can be shy, especially he's quizzing me about my career. What am I doing in my life? And Sebastian wasn't a friend for 10 years. He was only a friend for a year and a half. So when you make friends and network with people, you make money, you get opportunities. If I had to start all over, what I would do is go to every single HVAC company and show up in the morning around 5 to 6 a.m. and say, hey, listen, I'm looking for a job. I want to work for minimum wage. I'll carry shit around and I want to add more value than you give me. If you can extract $20 worth of value from me, Mr. Phil, pay me $15, make a $5 spread. Pay me whatever you have to make a profit off of my labor. Give me to your best guy who needs somebody to carry his bullshit, who needs somebody to hold the flashlight, to hold the ladder. I guarantee you, if you go to every single trade shop in your local town every morning and you say, I need a job, pay me whatever you need to, but I need a job because I need to learn. And put me with your best guy because I need to learn and I want to make money. And here's one of the problems that some of these trade CEOs or bosses come across. A lot of them are worried that they're gonna hire you, train you up, and then you leave. Yeah, that's the point. Not necessarily to leave. The point is to add more value, increase my value so I can get paid more. So I work for, let's say, 3 months, 4 months. All of a sudden, I'm providing $25 worth of value, $35 worth of value. If I'm providing $35 worth of value when before I was providing $25 an hour worth of value, I want to make more money. Pay me $30 an hour and you pocket a $5 spread on my labor. And as I go up in value, I need to get paid more. It's not personal. I'm working on my skills for a reason. If I wanted to continue to make the same money, I wouldn't improve my skills. So if you were to tell me, yeah, man, listen, Danny, I see you, I would hire you, but like a lot of the guys I hire, as we train them up, they love to leave. I mean, I don't want to hire you and train you up and then you leave. I'll say, listen, John, I totally understand where you're coming from. And a lot of guys do end up leaving after, you train them up and they develop more skills. And honestly, I think it's a back and forth between you, the boss, and us as, the employees. Ultimately, what it is we want to learn these skills so we can get paid more. And at no point will I ever ask you to pay me what I'm worth. If I'm worth $40 an hour and you can sell my labor for $40 an hour, I want you to pay me $35. I always want you to profit off my labor. And them as an entrepreneur will appreciate the fact that you understand that it's all numbers. They'll be like, oh, this kid realizes, yeah, I can contract his work out for about $40 an hour and I want to make a profit on it. I need to cover my advertising costs, my time dealing with those customers. So yeah, I'll pay him $27, $30. That's what I'm willing to do. And they will appreciate that. The fact that you even realize and consider the fact that it's all numbers and that they want to make a profit off your labor. And that's okay. So if I were to start over again, that's exactly what I would do. I would wake up every morning and get to all these shops around 5:30, 6 a.m. and ask to speak with the boss. I want to speak to the boss. Who's the head honcho here? Who's hiring people? I don't want to speak with HR. I want to speak with the head honcho. And I would stick to small to mid-range companies, and I would stick with commercial contractors. It's just the commercial gives you a better edge and you get paid more. Why would you not go for that? I would go for specialized trade positions. I wouldn't go for plaster, stucco, drywall. I wouldn't go for roofing. I wouldn't go for framing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and that's like mid-tier. Elevator mechanics, high tier. Generator mechanics, high tier. There's so many different trades and there's a lot of freaking money to be made. You just need to have the balls. Grab the fucking balls you have between your legs. If you feel them there, maybe you should make a move to change your life, okay? Make a move to change your life. When you make this kind of money, you have options. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a tradesman. I don't like working a trade at all, honestly. I'm an entrepreneur, but the trades give me options. All of a sudden, when I'm making 50 an hour, I have options I didn't have at 20 an hour. I can make investments at 50 an hour. I can take risks at 50 an hour. I can run an advertising campaign at 50 an hour. That's stuff I couldn't do at 20 an hour. I can rent an apartment at 50 an hour. I could go on a vacation in Miami and rent a Corvette at 50 an hour. Go jet skiing, go parasailing, go out to dinner, spend $350, $370 on dinner one night with my girlfriend. Beautiful girl. So when you're making money, you have options, and it's your duty as a man to exercise those options and create opportunity for yourself and your family and wealth. Now, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, it doesn't matter. This applies to you. If you're a school person, go ahead, go to school, get a high skilled degree. That's fine. This is for the guys who hated class. This is for the guys who couldn't stand being told what to do and bossed around. Because guess what? When you're in the trades and you have a skill, you can hop around. Somebody's dissing you, a boss is dissing you, and you're kind of like, I can get the same money somewhere else. Don't fucking yell at me. I'm a grown man. Peace out, bud. So remember this, money first, everything else second. You create opportunities with money, and that's it. If you're not making money, you're wasting your time. And this is a great opportunity for a lot of young bucks and old bucks. In 6 months, you can develop a skill and start earning a lot more.